So it's just going to rely on the Elder Titan to perhaps find that stomp, then you get Boots of Travel in, Nature's Prophet TPs in, and then you're able to just dominate. You also have to think of the style of position ones that they like to play on Alliance as well. You know, Ursa, Naga Siren, the Drow, Slark, Void, all Agi heroes. So that's a good way to be able to remove a lot of that armor that they're just going to gain naturally through the natural order. So, you know, Puppy's been known to try and it's nothing like game changing, like, you know, his POS 5 Brew was, or the 5 Centaur, or the 5 Legion Commander, but it's not exactly in the meta right now. Get to see a Chuen Storm, which, of course, one of his best heroes alongside the Kunkka.
What do we feel like is
well to the NP? I mean, you're never going to be that mid laner that gets caught by a stomp, or and you actually have the potential to go in onto the Nature's Prophet.
Is there even any nice matchup besides a stomp against the Elder Titan? Like, is it important to get on top of him to kind of slow down his team fight effectiveness?
A little bit. I also have to wonder, like, Ponlo has been spamming the 4 Enchantress as well in a lot of their recent games, and if they're planning to run this Elder Titan 5, then I feel like Ench is going to be a really good thing for the lane as well, just to be able to get rid of that Astral Spirit buff.
How would we potentially feel about a Enchantress and a Disruptor support duo? Could there be any weaknesses there?
I mean, sure, you're not exactly providing a stun, but we've seen that Enchantress can just look to run ahead, be that frontline presence, break a lot of the smokes, provide a lot of vision, allow Alliance to perhaps get away with a bit of an easier and greedier draft. And you're playing on the dire side as well, so that's really what you want to be leaning into as much as possible. So I think Enchantress is probably the one exception to, like, you're not a melee support, because you're just so beefy. You're untouchable plus level 10 talent for the magic resist.
We see so far, though, from Alliance in the second phase. A lot of protection here for Chuen Storm Spirit. They're going to get rid of the puck, which is a bit more of a slippy matchup for him to play into, and of course the anti-mage as well, which is a carry that is starting to rise in popularity. I know we are both very much enjoying this more active anti-mage with the early Vanguard. Your lane is used to be kind of one of your weaknesses, but now for the aim, it's not really anymore.
No, for sure. I mean, just going in that Vanguard build right into the Battle Fury, it means that oftentimes you need to pick it into the right sort of melee matchup just so that you're getting full value out of it. But against a Storm, the value's there. Same sort of thing with Disruptor, right? You can just use the counter spell to stop yourself from getting glimpsed back, and then it doesn't really have any sort of defensive tools for it. I don't think where they're looking to go from here, because with Team Secret, all you can really look to go by is, like, pubs, basically. Because again, they've had so many different changes that they've had over their time. I mean, S4, a lot of what he plays is pretty similar, and that's why I really like that Tide Hunter ban, right? He seems solid when he plays his Centaur, his Tide Hunter, his Death Prophet, and especially the Tide is going to feel incredibly solid into the Nature's Prophet. You really don't care about that treant those treants, at all in the laning.
I think pick for Seeker. They're going to go down the Tusk route, so there is some flex. Yami is a Tusk. Armel is able to play it over in the mid lane as well. They're pretty mean right click kind of lineup as well, with the tag, with the natural order to reduce armor, and then just profit as well. We'll see the Alliance be able to respond to that with the Jakiro, of course, versus the Tusk. Honestly, just the dual breath being able to slow down a lot of the attack.
Even Ice Path into a Nature's Prophet that's trying to sprout people away can feel kind of nice. Stop a lot of this this push that's going on. And we get a Doom coming through. Okay, so then it's not the Enchantress that I was talking about before in the support role. So you might be punished if you are looking to go a little bit further down this greed path. But if it's going to be a position 1 Nature's Prophet, then that Scorched Earth does a decent job of dealing with the treants as well, while you're providing a lot of harass to the lane. And Doom is already so speedy. Once he pops that one, once he's got the boots, and then you have potentially the glimpse back as well to be able to protect you. Alliance really not exactly revealing how they want these lanes to go.
All right. Ember's going to get picked up here for Team Secret. How do we feel about this? Because into the Storm Spirit, you know, that Storm can have a bit more of a favorable matchup in the mid lane, and the Doom can be an issue depending on if...
the Morphling still in the pool because it's a relatively decent matchup, but Death Prophet going away again. I really still feel like they're just going to take away Alliance are going to take away a lot of Secret's comfort, right? Armel has been spamming those first 3 heroes that they've banned out in pubs. Now it's S4. DK, not overly complicated. DP, not overly complicated. But it really just is something that they need to, like, is Centaur going to be decent here? Maybe. I mean, up against the Nature's Prophet feels kind of nice.
So you're wanting this Doom to be played as a 1? Is there...
I think it's possible. Something that Charlie's done in the past before. I don't think you're as worried about scaling anymore, just because you're going to have the tools to be able to get on top of these targets like the Nature's Prophet and the Ember Spirit. Especially if you've got a Centaur as well to provide that Stampede. But you can just look to still throw it into the offlane as well. It's removed. Ursa doesn't feel horrible.
Yeah, one of the few Agi heroes that is okay into the Elder Titan. I'm trying to think of some strength heroes. I thought of Chaos Knight, but CK into Elder Titan and Ember is not very good at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's some value for the Life Stealer this game. Your control is a bit of a concern with how you can be kited inside the middle of the fights, but
I'm just a little worried that Alliance is going a little greedy here. That's really why I was wanting something a little bit more like the Centaur that enables you a lot more. Just because Storm finds a zip, unless you're dooming someone, I don't think you're necessarily going to find too many consistent kills, right? Like the Storm plus the Disruptor, if you get a good glimpse off into a kinetic field, into a static, you're able to get kills, but it feels very like ulti-oriented. You're not able to do too much up until that point.
I guess Alliance do have also some difficulties with taking objectives right now, so I'd kind of hope this last pick is able to fix that issue in particular.
I don't hate the Slug ban though, by Secret. Okay. Like that is one of those heroes that can get relatively active early on as well. Just with the glimpse, it provides a pretty reliable way to chain into something else, whether that be the Pounce or the Ice Path. Storm, if you're wanting to rotate towards a Slark, you can actually look to start enabling to scale through those permanent essence shifts. What else could they? Maybe the Faceless Void still possible. They don't have a. Well, they got some decent damage, yes, to it. Madden. Okay.
Okay.
That's a
all right.
hero.
So there is your strength hero. Your strength hero. Decent amount you're able to dispel. It is a little bit slow. So their early game is going to be a bit weak on Alliance. I think you really need to unlock the Storm Spirit. So probably looking for Secret, maybe an offlaner, if they are still looking for an offlaner that is okay to play by himself and have Yarmich rotating a decent chunk on the toss to try and enable Armel on the Ember.
Yeah, I mean, Alliance's strategy is kind of like we were talking about, right? All out greed. That's why they've taken away a lot of these things that can speed up the game. The DK, the Death Prophet, the Enigma, they're all gone. Broodmother was removed previously. So what's left? You've got Visage, you've got Beastmaster, and you've got the Lycan still in the pool.
Oh, they can still NP3 because, like, I think this is going to be Jakiro position 4, and I think Nature's Prophet wants to avoid that lane because how the Jakiro is able to deal with the treants.
And then what, like Drow as a 1, just to be able to pick things up, provide a little bit of extra armor to the Nature's Prophet, relatively fast core as well.
Yeah, I don't mind the Drow. There might be some. There might be concerns about it. Yeah, that's the thing. I was just saying, like, if Alliance get like a BKB timing out of Storm and Doom at okay, then might get chased down. It's the staple. How could silly? You should have just bring it up anyway. Just be like, even if it's not like we don't really see the Monkey King, just say like, Crystal, he loves the Monkey King. Just so we float that one out there. But of course, probably his best hero. So he's got a lot of comfort already in this game 1.
Yeah, he's got that pool of, what, 4 or 5 heroes that you feel incredibly confident with him on. And Monkey King certainly is one of those. And it's a relatively fast tempo as well, right? You don't need too much to be able to get a lot done. The thing is, though, if Alliance get to this point where Charlie has level 15, has the Manta, Radiance, and then even on top of that, the Blink Dagger, that's going to be where Team Secret will really start to be sweating. So we're going to see two very different game styles here. Secret not wanting to sit back too much. They need to be constantly on the offensive. And, well, at least they've got the supports to be able to do it. Two melee supports that are wanting to get up in the face, provide a lot of information to enable the cause to really...
How we feel about this draft? Because there's got some newer heroes coming out, in particular with the Elder Titan, and then for Alliance, you've got the Abaddon as well. I know this hero is starting to rise in popularity, but it's still not at that point just yet where it's rivaling some of the other carries. Do we feel like one side is a little bit more favored heading into this game one?
I'm going to go with Alliance for now. Their draft is incredibly greedy, but if they can get to that point, then I'm favoring them quite heavily. So I'm just putting a little bit of hesitancy towards Secret for now, just because we haven't seen all 5 of these guys play together. They haven't had too much chance to be able to boot camp together, and maybe just start of the season jitters might throw them off a little bit.
Okay, well, we'll see if those jitters are there or not for Team Secret. What is it really about this alliance, besides kind of the 5-man and not really knowing what we have in store for Secret? Is there something that rounds this draft together well, where they're not having too many flaws in their draft?
No, they've got plenty of flaws in the draft. It's just that they've got to reach this point where they feel overwhelmingly strong. And I'm just worried that Secret won't be able to get at a stage where you're going to be able to combat that. I mean, a good way to start this off is, of course, Armel putting in a really solid performance against Chuen in that mid lane. He doesn't have like a winning matchup, but seeing Ember Spirits able to find the W, he sees some big tips as well coming through from Ponlo to Armel already. But the lane that I'm really looking at is this Chrysalis Grand Master Monkey King. He's able to start styling on S4, then it's going to go a long way towards their win.
Now, where would you like the Jakiro and Disruptor to be laning? Because I think there's a lot of value with Jakiro going in both side lanes, playing up against the Elder Titan, the Monkey King, both heroes that want to be right-clicking, but then also the Nature's Prophet to deal with the Treants and the Tusk to mitigate some of the tag team. So both side lanes look pretty good for Handskin. Is there one you'd prefer in particular?
I would say probably the Disruptor is able to create a little bit more space away with the Glimpse, and I'd say you're a little bit more worried about the kill threat of a Monkey King versus a Nature's Prophet. So I probably look to keep Ponlo as far away from that NPS.
Take a look at the odds thanks to our partner esportsbet.io. It is slightly favoring Team Secret at the moment. We'll see if that's going to continue to be the case. Already it says that's all. Okay by the looks of it.
With the ice shards, enabling S4 to be able to walk his way out.
Let's take a lot of damage though on his way out. Pomlo.
I mean, it's max damage, why not?
Yeah, hey cat, get away from my lane.
Gonna have it up by the time the creep waves converge once again.
So this will be a nice test here for Armel. Again, like the Storm Spirit Ember matchup, I'd say slightly Storm. They can go back and forth, but Armel, it is one of his best heroes, and overall it's a pretty goddamn good Ember Spirit game. There can be some concerns. I think once he gets BKB and off to a good start, then Armel is going to be pretty confident with what he can do in a game like this, but all eyes on him and how he's going to be able to perform in his first game over in Europe.
Already using that Glimpse to keep the Monkey King as far away from S4's Doom as he can. Really don't want to be going too heavy into the regen on that Doom. Surely get into that minus ASAP, start to scale. Most importantly with levels, as we've got a lot of chase down.
So it's actually kind of Secret that look to move the supports away. Actually, bottom lane, S4. Could be a little bit of danger here. How much can get in front of the Doom? It might just be our first blood. Pomlo will be able to send Chrysalis back, but Yamich is still getting some good right-click damage out thanks to the Orb of Venom.
It's never going to be easy as Yamich continuing to look for the chase. I mean, he's a little bit of damage in onto Ponlo, but S4 himself has to be careful. He's got Ice Shards back up.
Should just be a kill. Yamich, are they going to give it to Chrysalis? You bet they are. What a great start here for Secret down bottom.
This reward.
Try and get a return kill onto Yamich. Might be able to do so. He's got the Fairy Fire, though, to be able to play with, but seems like Yamich just wants to get that full reset. I think he fought out before he... Yeah,
Well,
Stop was already
I
on the career at the
tried.
time, so he's feeling just fine. Sure, you're in position to enable these sorts of kills and status to be able to do so. Even just gets a quick boost of speed to be able to give over
no
the
way.
glimpse. Pondo, is he on the mark? Nope. Oh, there we go. Oh, never mind.
And actually, hang on a second. They got their level 2s. S4, oh, he can't be dying again. Found the strike up in 3 seconds. Crystal should be able to chase him down. Sidestep, is it there? It's not. This Doom's game. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
This was the big area of concern that I had. You know, you got to be, if you're going to go greed, you got to get out of the lanes in a decent spot, and this is certainly not one of them. Even that Monkey King until the very last pick of the draft, and at the moment, Crystallis is making it look pretty good.
S4's gonna have to smoke all the way out. Omlo's like, all right, I'll take the solo experience, but definitely not what you are hoping for Alliance down bottom. Meanwhile, how's the other side lane shaping up at the moment? Charlie's off to a pretty good start. Seems like Boom as well is doing fine. He's got this Blightstone early on for the Nature's Prophet. We see Poppy as well. He's got a win list with his starting item, so just looking to try and run them down and utilize that minus armor to help in the trading.
So I'm just looking back on this bottom side of the map. We see Yamich continuing to chase down S4, just doing the job of the Monkey King and himself on his own with that Orb of Venom. With the Sentry Ward placed out by Yamich, it's not quite blocking the small camp, maybe expecting that there was something there to be able to disrupt the pull, but you'd have to say it's pretty important just to potentially keep that small camp away from the Doom as well. Maybe if he gets into the heal creep, or you're able to get that Chain Lightning. Very, very nice. Just to be able to secure range creep.
We're going to see our second water into the game. Like Pomlo was starting to move on over to try and secure. Wasn't required though. Chuen really able to find. Here's an Armel as well. Armel he's having an incredible start. 24-6 compared to the 19-4 on Chuen. So that's the start you need out of the Ember Spirit.
Or he's starting to get a lot of consistent harass onto a Storm Spirit underneath his tower. Blightstone certainly does do a lot to be able to correct the additional armor that you get from that. Amel, though, really scary if he can get up onto that level 6 before Chuen does. We've seen what happens in this Spirit matchup. Even if it's a couple of seconds, what difference it makes to be able to go for those solo kills and really set up the game.
And again, we're also looking at that first power in as well. So it's going to come down to how the side lanes are set up in regards to their creep equilibrium. If the supports can leave their cores to try and help the position 2s. Because really right now for Alliance, you need Chuen to have a good game. Like Doom is already S4's suffered and he's a pretty greedy hero. And also the Abaddon, he needs time as well. So it's really the Storm Spirit that's going to be making plays. So you need to get as many power ins as you can.
The glimpse come through as Ponlo and Yamich just looking to make a bit of a man fight happen. Looks like Ponlo, never mind.
No.
Slightly off the mark there, giving him the high five. Is he going to be able to get the deny, or is he faster? He's slightly
Yamich should
faster.
still get the kill. Domingo, Ponlo won't be able to escape from the kinetic field. This Tusk is bodying them. Yamich, the new addition, is doing so much work to start the laning phase.
Even just with how he was able to interact with that small camp, right? You can see the Harpy Scout to the south of Yamich. They made sure to take care of the Stormcraft, and just so the Doom wasn't able to move over and get a solid creep. He doesn't even have a single point in the Devour as well, so his net worth is seriously going to...
First regen looks like it's going to go the way of Alliance. Handskin picks that up, but we do have a wraparound Poppy. Try and guide Chuen. He just find enough experience with the melee dying under, so lucky Storm Spirit.
Slightly off the mark with, like, he still gets the bottle refill and he hands him over a Tango, but not completely on the same page with their cohesion. He's got a refilled bottle, might give them a bit of an indication that they could make a play onto S4 here and make sure that he took the bounty room first. Oh. Really important item to speed for an Elder Titan to be able to go for those chase downs.
There we go. Bottom lane. Beautiful, man. Yamich.
Hey, what is happening?
These guys doing so much work with a snowball. Who cares about this broken ability in the glimpse if you got a Tusk nearby making plays like that?
Alright, S4, he's used the Devour. He actually got the ability though from the Wild Wing. Not that it would have really made too much of a difference considering it's just the small boy. But he's been completely pushed out of this lane. He doesn't even want to go back. So level 4,
Top lane,
7 minutes in.
Nice route.
In the jungle is not really what you want to see. This just enables Yamish to be able to make these big rotations, right? He's hunting down Xuen inside of his own jungle. Well, very careful with his positioning. All of corrosion, this tower is going to start taking some serious damage even without the siege break.
We have another power in coming up pretty shortly here, so at the moment we've got 2v2. We do have also some other supports looking to infiltrate down from this top side. Finally, Xuen is going to be able to find that power and is a little bit cautious about jumping over towards Poppy. It might be Ponlo the one that's in trouble though. Wrath of Nature coming out, so with the extra damage, Ponlo will go down. Xuen's looking for the return kill and he should be able to find it onto the task with kill Poppy and Armel in combination together. Oh, they're even going to bring Boom in as well for the +1. Kills back and forth, but it does look like it's going to favor Secret unless Xuen can get a big kill onto the Ember Spirit. It's got a little bit more mana to play with, and as a result, Xuen is back in this game. A triple kill out of the Storm Spirit.
Get a nice little bottle refill as well from Ponlo. Downside, in the meantime, it's another solo kill for Kristas on this bottom lane. So despite that triple kill, you've still got over 1,000 net worth advantage on this Monkey King compared to any other hero. They get more. The information, they see us 14 being in, and it's
This is they're getting another, man. They're gonna get another kill. Oh my lord, what is going on in this bottom lane?
Alright, Xuen needs to put on his big boy pants because it is carry time for him. He's got the triple kill to enable himself. He's level 8. What's he got coming out to him now? Just a TP scroll, but with that Falcon Blade, I want to try and pick up some of these stacks, get into that Kaya, and then really start to put your foot on the gas.
Looks like they're even going to lose another mid lane. And it's getting in some trouble. Ice Path only going to delay the inevitable. Xuen is starting to move on over. They got Ponlo nearby as well, so they're going to look for a return kill onto Yamich. Xuen's going to be able to find it. Is he in some trouble though? He's still got some mana to use. Looks like as a result, they're going to be able to get the kill onto Poppy as well. So you just mentioned Xuen. He's got to put his big boy pants on. Meanwhile, Crystallis, it's going to be another solo kill onto S4. You give this man his comfort, and you see what happens. 7-0. We're 10 minutes in. We are 10 minutes into the game. Oh my god.
And falling out of control. Although he's in position to see if there's any kind of vision here, but no, it's just against the Monkey King. He understands what it's like to dominate this matchup and then use it moving forward. Staying hidden for now. I think maybe the fact that Xuen's not showing on the map is giving him a little bit of apprehension, but a bit of farm down on this bottom side, Monkey King, and you can just even see with his item build, despite the fact that he's dominated, could maybe look to get away with a bit more green. He's just like, you know what? I want to keep the ball rolling. I want to get into the ability to fight because, again, we know what this Abaddon is capable of. We know what the Doom is capable of, and Abaddon's having a fine enough time on the top side.
Let's see Charlie's 200 moment, 1800 gold in the bank, so it's still going to be quite some way till he's able to find that Radiance, and the Secret putting all their attention around this mid lane. I mean, we're seeing Abaddon's having a fine time, but Boom is also having a great time too. You know, he's got one component completed, almost enough gold for the second component of that scepter, and they're continuing to try and shut down S4. It will be a little bit too late with his smoke over towards the Secret shot, but what's going to stop them out diving under the tower?
A little bit of apprehension, I guess. I mean, oh, well, there we go. Found him.
Got the Doom though. They bring in all the members to potentially back around. But the Echo Storm holds you into place, but Pomlo, that's an even better static storm as well. They'll get the big streak from the Monkey King. But they're not going to have the damage now. When his resources are too low, he's hesitant to enter the fight once again. And that's going to enable Secret to be able to get the cleanup kills. Hanskin will go down. And they will be able to get the tower as well with how low it is.
It was Chuen though who got that kill, so it's the exact person that you're wanting to be able to claim that big kill streak. Gets him into the Blitz Knuckles. They were lucky enough to get a Fairies Trinket as well, and they even get the deny on the tower. So a little bit of extra gold from them, thanks to Pon though. What they need, they got to get into that Witchblade early. Stop a lot of this early push. They're wanting to dodge the map side. They were playing around this mid lane so much.
Beautiful down the strike. Maybe the Ice Part's going to be enough to keep Chuen alive, and it looks like that'll be the case. They'll turn to deal with the supports instead, but Chuen, he wants to go back in. Targeting Boot for the moment, but Armel, he's still got the chains in the arsenal. Down goes the Storm Spirit. Charlie's going to look to get involved for the first time this game, but the Abaddon just runs into 4 members, and he's got no one to back him up. So Charlie goes down, and he's just given over his good start as well, just freely farming up top.
Well.
Oh, gee.
Audio.
No.
Oh, it's an audio issue. Don't worry about it. I mean, that shows the importance that they're placing on this tier 1 tower, right? Even your position 1 Abaddon, who doesn't have a component of the Radiance, shows up because they desperately want to protect this tier 1. That's the gateway, basically opening up the entire map for Secret to be able to play toward. You don't want to be able to just freely path up through the mid lane into the Ancients area. You don't want to be able to invade the jungle quite so easily. If you do, you want as many avenues as possible to be able to make those TP rotations to back it up. Without that tier 1, then this greedy draft doesn't work quite so well. Silver linings, S4 has been pushing out the bottom lane a little bit. And the wave pushed in, I'm sure that someone's going to look to make a rotation back so that not too many resources goes underneath the tower. But again, it still is a... Ponlo died as well, didn't he? Maybe not.
Oh, no, sorry. No.
Yeah, so it's still a 3-for-1. 3-for-0, rather. You got to take every little bit that you can.
However, it does really feel like a game where if Storm dies another time in a row, we might be looking at an early call it quits. It's just the weight, it's all on his shoulders currently, and this is a game where you pretty much have to go beyond godlike and not have a whole lot of deaths, and which is a concern because they've done a very good job to keep this tier 1 tower alive. But as soon as it drops down, we're going to see Secret. Their plays can just get that much easier. You can start to infiltrate the jungle, catching out S4, who's still looking for the catch up. Slowing down Charlie's Radiance. So that's a big team fight 1 here for Secret to open up the map now.
Why they committed so many heroes to it as well. Let's see if there's any stacks built up. Never mind, it's this super deep observer ward placed out by Kristas himself, actually. Was looking to try and scout out S4, but he's just TP'd away to the other side of the map. Not wanting anything to do with this, and I mean, this is the thing. You can get away with some greed, but someone needs to open up the map, and this was the main area of concern that I had for Alliance's draft, is that, even if Chuen gets off to an amazing start, Disruptor and the Jakiro aren't exactly the greatest heroes to be able to make those combinations happen. They deal their damage relatively slowly.
And they don't like heroes running at you as well. And that is the big issue with these two. In particular, the Disruptor. The one with its max out glimpse. There's not a toolkit to use defensively. You want to be ones getting these across the map. And with the position they're in, it's not going to be easy. Secret. Another smoke. They will be aware of this though, with the cliff ward. Get out the invis, just disappears out of thin air. Charlie though still farming top. Is Charlie really strong enough for this? When Alliance is starting to smoke to the Abaddon. He's going to try and TP in behind him as well. Charlie's going to be able to get rid of the chains. He's got the ultimate to buy some time. On the right side though, they found Armel. A lot of ultimates committed to try and shut him down. It's an even better ice path as well. We go to Gwen, look at his in the middle. Back in some mana at the moment, but this could be the fight that Alliance were waiting for. They're going to have some difficulties with close in the distance. They are very hesitant about coming to run into Secret. They're trying to find the angle and even the glimpse as well, but a snowball is. Damage will still go down nonetheless because Starless, and that's a huge boundless strike onto 3 of the Wukong's command as well. Hanskin will not be able to get out of range of the ring.
Great use of the Sprout as well, not to hold anyone into place, but just to block off an escape avenue for the Wukongs. So he had to go for a really long walk around by Hanskin. He just stays inside that Wukongs and he gets bursted down.
Boom might be in some trouble bottom lane. He's coming to farm or looking for the kill on Chuan.
Got it on the Elder Titan, they've got it on the Monkey King as well if he goes in too deep.
Oh, we didn't. No?
A bit too close. To the tower. No, another dive on CS4.
T2 tower as well. Nowhere is safe. A little bit too slow. The Armit should still die by the looks of it. A little bit of golden experience given over to Alliance. Closer we towards the Radiance, right? Charlie's got the Sacred Relic. A bit away from this last component though.
A bit away from the level 12 as well, just for the ability to team fight a little bit more, but Radiance isn't really the fighting item that you're wanting here. Sure, it's nice when they're just trying to ball up and run at you, but it's just a farming accelerant for Madden at this stage. Still needs a couple of extra items to truly feel like he's going to take a significant part in this one. Hanskin, he's been getting a lot of damage out with this dual breath as well. And his Ice Paths have been incredibly solid too, but it's just level 1 Ice Path for now. If he can get that one, get a few more levels into him, then that'll be the thing to turn it back a little bit more in Alliance's favor, because versus landing the spell, no point. He doesn't die before he gets the D-ward off.
This is a huge timing though for Secret. Just picked up the BKB on Mel, sorry, on Crystallis, and you just got the Scepter as well for Boom, so even more control, which could prove to be a bit of an issue here for Chuan, who is actually going to zip on over. Thinking of getting the Armich, but as soon as they see Boom nearby as well, they'll consider otherwise. And Chuan actually might be in some trouble. The chain control needs to be perfect from the side of Secret. It's not going to be the case, lacking some of the damage as well, so Chuan will be able to zip on out.
Not even using the Crow Stomp on Puppy, feeling like they were just lacking a little bit more damage. Maybe if Crystallis is there a little bit quicker, maybe if he's got the...
Setting up, Ponlo looking for the Static Storm onto Armel.
All that much for that's the backstab.
Again, man. Another death on the T2 tower. Ponlo doesn't find the angle for the Static Storm. They'll use it now, but Crystallis is fine. Pops the BKB, no concerns here for the Monkey King. Charlie's going to TP into the ring, so he'll be forced to pop his ultimate straight away. They're still going to try and zip over the top and deal with the Monkey King, but he's just going to TP out in their face. No stuns to cancel it, so once again, a skirmish going the way of Secret.
That was really odd by Ponlo. I mean, he jumped in with the Tumbler's Toy and felt like he was right on top of 4, but the Static Storm onto the guys that actually has that BKB, able to turn around and just walk on out of it. He had the Wukong's command down, dominated that fight once again. Gonna have the Echo Saber back up again now. Been more damage coming through again. I'm sure that this was the call from Puppy to be able to begin this game, right? He is like, we are fighting. I don't want to see any sort of greed items. I want to enable a lot of fighting. That's what the Aghanim Scepter does for the Nature's Prophet, lowering the cooldown. He's going straight into the BKB after that. No kind of Maelstrom or anything. Starless as well. Early BKB after the Echo Saber, straight into the Desolator. Makes so much sense.
And you see Charlie as well. This first blood, they're going to scout him out, starting to venture back towards his side of the map. Alliance is starting to TP into the T2 tower, but beautiful shots blocks off any reinforcements, and from him being able to get close to them as well. Puppy, he's already wanting more as well. Crystallis can follow, so can Armel. This 8,000 net worth lead here for Secret. They could definitely consider about taking Roche at a pretty early timing. You've got the tag team at level 3. Of course, the Nature's Prophet's pretty solid as well. So what do we feel like Secret maybe need to unlock that Roche pit for them?
mean, it's just going to be a kill, right? But I think the way that Alliance can look to counteract that is just try and split up as much as possible. Yes, someone's going to die. That's just going to happen. You're dying anyway when you're playing together, so just try and get a little bit more efficiency out of the map as you're going into a Crimson Guard as well. I mean, I know you're going up against a lot of physical, but like the Troll Warlord or Zoo matchup or Visage that really feels all that effective. One thing that Alliance do have in their favor quite strongly is that they've got some solid defensive wards down right. And that's really the only wards that Secret have as well. And can't recall the last time Alliance dared to venture onto the Radiant side of the map. Salas with that BKB feels so comfortable to do, right? Just path on through the dire jungle, take that away from them. Yeah, it means that the bat's going to get a little bit more farm, but still a fair ways away from those next two items that are truly going to enable him in the Manta style and the Blink Death.
So
the Radiant jungle, they're saying, look, if they want to play greedy, then they got to make a choice. Either you take towers or you kill heroes that prevent us from going down this greed
and they're
route.
common.
Looks they want to go the ladder.
Just completed off the blink back. They're gonna go Polo instead. Do still get the root over to the right side onto Chuen, but they'll be able to get this away, so it looks like they'll just be able to catch up Ponlo. The boys are still hunting though, so Charlie's gonna be pretty cautious.
Hey, what is happening?
He's got plenty of mana.
Doesn't even have the Radiance on, just in case the burn might give him away. Waiting for that TP to be available and then hooks it top side of the map. Doing a decent job. I mean, it's just one of the dives that plays ahead of the rest of the team, and again, forces a defensive movement rather than something that's going to net Secret something.
Oh no, that cliff is warded as well, with the Wrath of Nature taking the Storm prior, so... it's only got a minute left, so they're probably not going to be able to move over there to get the D-ward. They're positioning back into their top jungle. S4 is pretty close towards his Crimson, and very close to the recipe of the BKB as well, so they're surely going to find these items.
Okay. It's level 15 though. 55 damage. Really nothing to sneeze at. So suddenly the Abaddon feels a lot scarier. You know, it's not quite the Manta style for the immediate Curse of Avernus applications, but so much stronger than he was even 5 minutes ago. Let's see how that's going to impact. I really want to see him play around the team just that little bit more. Chuen just 5 gold away from that BKB. Feels like their chance to be able to make something happen. Crimson Guard coming through too. For S4. Going to be able to potentially take the next successful fight.
I'm still going to try and lay down the static storm because Charles with the Wukongs, it's a 3-5 with Secret underneath the T2 tower. There's not much that Alliance can do to fight inside the ring. They'll turn their attention over towards Hanskin. A 2-for-1. A couple of BKBs were expended for Secret, but we just see what happens every time when Chrysalis can use the Wukongs. There's just no way the Alliance can run inside this control.
And he's not getting greedy either. You know, he's not saying, you know what, I'm going to use the BKB as a response to something. When he goes all in. He's basically saying, you know what, I'm going to pop this BKB because I know the threat of that Doom is... He wasn't quite so proactive with it, then maybe he would have been able to be locked into plays, wouldn't have done quite so much damage, and taken the damage back the other way to be able to get second death.
Chrysalis. Having some trouble here, Chuen with that ward. Scouts now, Boom starting to TP in. Is it going to be enough to keep the Monkey King alive? Finds the Jingu stacks, but he still goes down. Another streak that Chuen's able to find.
Still 1 and 3, like the state that this game is in right now. He's having a real solid one. Alliance, to their credit, they've realized the state that the game is in. They're just basically saying, look, we're not really losing that much on the map. We might lose S4 a couple of times, but at least he's got the Devour to be able to catch himself up. He's now going full self-preservation mode as opposed to greed, going into the BKB next, just to be able to avoid a little bit of that damage, although it's quite physical based, so more just about being able to get out of the things like the Wukong's command.
And for S4 inside the middle of these fights, who do we feel is that primary target that is hoping to drop the Doom. If in the best case scenario, he can use it on anyone. Who do we feel like it needs to be?
Oh, of course it's Armel. That's going to just prevent so much harass coming through from the back lines. But it's really going to be any target that has BKB pop. That's going to be an ideal one for him to be able to take out. And they're not playing games. They want to be able to take this Roshan and this one. Desolator picked up by Crystallis, and he's 500 gold away, so pretty close. They're going to go hunting though.
The boys are so good. Can they get there fast enough? They're going to be forced to try and TP in. As a result, Secret will buy them some respect. Coming out. Pretty good ward up on the cliff. The Lion's going to be cautious how far they venture. Such an issue. It's another downfall Balmer strike. They've got the Earth as well to let he drop. He's going to be killed off. Crimson will delay the inevitable. Charlie, stop the Wukongs. We are to get a second shot for this. Sprat. It was really bad start to the fight. Lines to 2.
So solid though, right? Finding all of these initiations, enabling Pause to be able to jump in to follow up. And just the vision that he provides as well just means that Wrath of Nature is hitting absolutely everyone. Forcing earlier BKBs and they might like nowhere close to picking up anything like a Lotus Orb or anything like that. Here's their next chance to be able to take a fight that really goes in their favor. They've got the Manta style now on Charlie, so him getting that plus Dagger, I guess, and almost getting to the state where Ponlo needs to have that Aghanim Scepter for them to have a chance, and they've got the Philosopher's Stone to be able to assist with that at least, and 2 components in, so I wonder if they're going to look to give him a little bit more farm.
And that could be that potential late game X factor, because the Doom currently, if you compare him towards his counterpart, I mean, Boom's going to scale. We already see Silver's Edge queued up for him, and
Right against the
S4 is not going to get, yes, great against the Abaddon, so S4 is not going to have this late game presence that we see so often out of the Doom with the rough game that he's had, so maybe that's where Ponlo can fill the slack a little bit, but still he does need some gold towards he gets towards his item.
I think if if Secret just continue to play the same sort of game that they have thus far, just again play proactively, assume that the Doom or the Ag Static Storm is coming, just pop your stuff early, get inside, have that spell immunity, and then you'll be in a good spot to be able to actually, win the team fight, ball over them, take objectives, close out the map, take second Roche, win the game.
Uh-oh. Poppy, again, he got both of them. So S4, he's in some trouble. Boom's even going to pop a BKB just in case maybe Chuen's considering about zipping in.
The real question for me comes with, and this is one of the downsides of having this Disruptor Jakiro support duo. No one really wants to go out on the map first, and if you do, you're just so easy to be able to take out, and like, if it does get to that point, Chuen, he's going the Scythe of Ice, so he clearly wants to be able to find someone to zip in, get the Hex off before they're able to pop that BKB, but how's he supposed to get the vision is my main question.
And well, it's Secret that have a great ward to play with inside the base. I thought they were maybe going to consider about catching one of the supports off guard, but Alliance are about to have their full 5 men back alive, so Secret, they'll buy them some respect.
Do you have the Lincoln's finished up? Is that on Armel? Lincoln's coming. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
so
Armel was, yeah.
now you're not really quite as concerned of the Doom anymore either. Floppy boots are bearing. This is a we want to fight, and this is the type of Secret that I love to play. I mean, I was a little apprehensive. I thought maybe they aren't going to have that understanding of exactly how each other plays, and haven't been seeing it.
Hanskin. Oh no.
Without the Static Storm, you're not really worried anymore. Takes away that element of surprise, even though he's only just one component away from the Aghanims. Doing a decent job of keeping the lane shoved away, but again, without that Static Storm threat, I feel like you're feeling very confident to move forward with the 40 seconds left on this Aegis and potentially have Crystallis go up onto the high ground even.
Now, Charlie, I'm I have to give props, even though this has been a really rough game here for Alliance overall. Actually, S4, front of a T3 tower, guys. They don't give a damn. S4 has got the Crimson Guard activated, but they just tear apart the absorption. Another easy kill, and now they consider about trying to take down some of the objectives as well. And what can really stop them?
Gonna need to be a buyback into that ulti from Disruptor, but time he's got the ulti, S4 have respawned anyway, so no point in using that and harming your net worth even further. He's been holding on to a lot of gold on it, so each time he dies, it's a huge amount of unreliable gold that he's losing. Really wouldn't hate to see him just buy up that Ogre Axe, maybe complete those boots of speed into Tranquils, just the item slot, because you need to hold on to the Quelling Blade still.
Now with the Abaddon, do we feel like this is a carry that needs to be playing from ahead in regards to your net worth, or is he going to be able to hit a pretty strong timing shortly where, you know, maybe this is something that Alliance can use up their sleeve in the next couple of minutes, even though they are down 13,000 gold?
I mean, the thing is, he's hit his strong timing. It's just that no one else really has. So that's the real thing holding it back right now. Chuen, he's level 18, so he's got that extra damage coming through from the Ball Lightning. They're really wanting to just get back out onto the map. They're even feeding the Tome over to Charlie as well. Try and get him to... And
this is a great ward that Alliance have just on the hill by Radiant's tier 1. You got full information, but how are you even going to think about taking a fight here and setting up an engagement? So Alliance, they'll back on out. It's going to be secret with their own counter smoke. Again, Hanskin. Got the tally. Looking like number 12. Crystallis got the stun. Another death. Charlie will have some time to shove out bottom. Chuen's going to have some time as well, working in on his own scepter. So the potential... What's going on?
I feel so bad for Ponlo, right? All the while that was happening, he was hitting the small camp that Monkey King just used the Primal Spring onto. He's only got the 1 point in the Thunderstrike. So basically, he spent about 15 seconds hitting it in Thunderstrike, and it just did nothing with that Philosopher's Stone that he's holding. Nothing died, not even the small.
Hopefully he can get the scepter with this little bit of farm top, but Seeker want to make sure he can't as well. See how far back he's playing?
Yep.
No, come on, dude.
He can't, man. How's he going to get any of this last hits?
I know. It's just sad to see. What's his BKB as well? Oh.
He's just got to wait. Playing the waiting game right now. They feel like they can fight right now, sell the win lays. They know no Roshan is up, and they know that, look, all of us are alive. Charlie, he's continuing to farm. He's level 20 as well, so extra or time reduction. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, he took out the Philosopher's Stone to help last city, and then secure a dual breath go up. But he's got enough gold
he's
now.
Got it.
So there is some late game craziness potential with Chuen having Sether suck into Static Storm and Dekiro, but we're still a little bit away from him being able to get those components as well from Storm Spirit, and he probably needs to be considering about buyback as well. But the strong timing here for Alliance, even though they are down this much gold. Let's see what they're able to do with it.
Or he wants a Blink Dagger. Ponlo wants a Blink Dagger. He'll be holding on to Psychic Headband right now. I really wouldn't hate seeing him have the Cutlass Toy, just for a little bit of information. And there we go. They instantly pinged onto Ponlo saying this guy's got Aghanim set to take him out.
Aggressive jumping. Looking to take S. But a defensive use of the BKB is going to keep the Doom alive for the moment. And he has an opportunity to cast it out onto Crystallis as well. So a decent fight simultaneously. There's the Static Storm ult on top as well. Alliance. Finally, there was another boom. Hanskin. The Ice Pop to cancel Boom's TP, and just like that, Alliance. What a team fight from them. The one they've been waiting for from the entirety of the game. They lose no one.
No, they didn't, and it really feels like they had the entire vision of that fight. They had the Observer Ward placed down behind it all, the clever one that you were talking about. Are there any streaks that they were able to claim? A couple of 4 times, but the big thing is they can finally get back out on the map, and more importantly, some experience. Although we're sitting up just hitting level 12 at that fight, just got 2 levels. You get level 15 on the Static Storm, extra 2 seconds duration, and really start to seal off some areas of the map to be able to hide around with that status. It's going to be 8-second duration soon.
I'm surprised to see what the hell went wrong here. I mean, they didn't commit on the kill for the Doom, so S4, first fight we've seen him get ultimates off.
They didn't commit on anyone. Look at everyone's HP in the top right. You know, everyone's low, but no one's actually dying. It really felt to me like Ponlo's the easy kill, right? You have vision of him, he's a disruptor, 0 defensive tools, but really damage that went for him.
And now we could be in a very awkward position here for Secret. Scepter just completed for Chuen, level 20, so he's got that extra vortex duration. S4 just completed a blink as well. And they've got a great aggressive board. Poppy setting up Blue Wukon's command as well. Let's murder the Static Storm. It's been awkward for them to play inside the ring, so Charlie's going to be forced to run himself away. It looks like Secret, that previous team fight loss, does nothing to deter them. Chuen, though, he's looking for the finishing blow, and he'll finally do it. They've got S4 as well. Doom's still on cooldown, but Charlie, he's running over him. He'll suck him inside this snowball. Charlie, can he man fight this? He's going to try and do his best, but it's just not enough for the ultimate down. He doesn't have that protection. No, S4, he's locked into place as well. They're just going to toy with him. A little bit of health back thanks to Boom. He'll come back over. And then Armel as well will rejoin with the Remnant. So that previous fight loss does absolutely nothing. Secret are back in, and they stem this potential momentum that was soon to build for Alliance.
Really expecting to see a Doom come out there from S4. I'm not sure if he had it the whole time or not, but it was just 8 seconds left on the borrowed time. Yeah, Charlie probably would have been able to survive. Now it's going to be another Roshan that they're able to claim for themselves. Aghanim Shard going over to... No, you can give this to. I guess, Longboy?
They have Static Storm up, surely. Are they going to consider about going for it? Not the case. They want to do a bit with the shard too. They're not going to do some crazy stuff, are they? They're going to go quick. I think it's going to be a bit too late.
For it. Thinking they might be able to catch someone on the retreat, trying to go for this farm up on the top side. That movement, but they're not going to take it. They've been off the map for too long. They don't have any vision up towards that the area of the map. Free to move on forward. Might be able to catch up Boom here.
They have to commit S4's ultimate as well. In fact, it's going to be Pomlo's that they're going to drop down, so a heavy committal to get the kill, but nonetheless, that's Boom gone for 70 seconds. This might limit some of that early effectiveness out of the Aegis. They're still going to be cautious about where they are positioned. They might run into Charlie. Pretty hard to kill. Just completed the Abyssal.
Yeah, he didn't have that Vanguard in his inventory previously, his backpack, just so that he could keep that Quelling Blade available for himself. So now he's got that Vanguard passive.
Probably that team fight that we saw occur over by Radiant's Triangle, probably one of the biggest issues was just that you used the Static Storm on the Monkey King, who already had Wukons, and you could not run in and fight in that area. So probably a big thing that Pomlo needs to be considering is if you drop your ultimate inside the ring, you're not going to be able to fight this. I mean, look at Crystal, 17, 4, and 9. This guy is inkly farmed. It's just impossible to fight into him once those ultimates are laid down.
Every one of his deaths been from Chuen. I kind of feel like they have. You know, he feels like the only one that's actually had the capability and the damage to be able to burst it down. Previous death onto him in that triangle fight was because Chuen actually had a regen route to be able to play around with, so he ducks off to the side, gets a little bit of mana back, and then rejoins once that BKB had expired. But at least for Ponlo, he's going to have this Blink Dagger to play around with. So, a couple of successful fights have come in handy for him.
He's got the...
Doesn't hurt.
Not at all. And now he's got the Psychic Headband that he can swap in.
Yeah.
Got that 15 health.
I think Refresher Orb is... You're kind of dreaming. You know, you got to just get yourself a successful team. Extra range on the Blink, extra range on the Static Storm cast. Go for a smoke here. What's the neutral item situation?
The thing is, though, like... Even though Secret have had the control through the entirety of this game, you've got to be really, really cautious on your position. One wrong fire, Alliance, if you are grouped up, they will penalize you. With all the combos that they have, you have to be ever so vigilant as Charlie. This is not what you're hoping the Abaddon to be. He's so far away from the base, it's going to take his team too long to be able to connect as S4 will get the jump, but it's a Doom onto the Tusk. So Charlie's still in some trouble. He's going to break out of the Sprout, but the boys are coming. Mel's going to pop a BKB early on as Chuen wants to get in the middle for the silence. Chuen going to be cautious, so has some time to react to the Magic Infinity. The Storm Spirit's going to be able to get on out. Looks like everyone else too will make it. This 4. No, they'll catch it out. Wasn't wanting to run back inside the base, and as a result, try and lay down the static storm, but no one is caught inside the range. Maybe just acting as a deterrent to keep S4 alive, and it'll fulfill that role. Charlie sees an opportunity to go for the pop. Now the truck inside the snowball. Yamich will keep his captain alive, and here comes Chuen. A vortex into the Macropier. That's the ultimate you were hoping for out of Hanskin. Crystallis though, he doesn't have the ultimate to work with. It holds 3 into place, and Chuen, he's in some trouble. Crystallis, it was looking like a troubling scene to start the fight, but he's looking for the cleanup. A lot of buybacks coming up though from Alliance. They feel like they can turn this around. Need to get the catch. Crystallis actually cancels his TP, wants to go back in. Slams down the staff, and as a result, Ponlo's life is taken off the screen. No escape as well off the back of that. A heavy commitment, back and forth team fights, but in the end, it's Secret that come out on top.
See the potential though, right? Chuen with that triple vortex in. He's even holding on to the ceremonial robe, just wanting that little bit of extra duration of the lockdown, keep him inside the macro pyre, but it's just not enough. At the end of the day, the damage comes out a little bit too slowly. This is the issue that we were both having with Alliance's draft from the beginning. You might be able to land your spells perfectly, but the damage just isn't there. Really going to be able to shrug it off. That's the advantage of having this early lead, where it just makes up for any big plays that the enemy team might be able to make.
Now this puts Chuen in a very, very awkward position. He's got the Shivas, it looks like, queued up, but probably in the back of the mind, he's also considering about an Aeon disc, considering with that buyback. If he goes down again, your barracks is open for taking.
Try and force as many fights away on the Radiant side of the map if you can, but a hard time looking to base just to farm. Alone take the team fight, but they've got no vision to plan. It's daytime though, so they're just making a beeline to their high ground as quickly as possible. Sound from
pop Charlie.
They're there.
Very aggressive blink in. Oh, Arcane could be pretty nice. Chuen's gonna be rewarded. Lane though, that's also getting shoved in as well, so the lanes are not in the greatest position for the Alliance. Eventually they will be forced to go back to base to deal with these.
Jump pit where it might not be super obvious, but you've got to be careful not to show anyone on the map or give any indication being in this region. Onlo not get her into the sentry ward where they're farming inside the ancient camp. Chuen just looking to play around the top side.
Getting pretty close to those level 25 talents as well. I think really the one I'm looking at is going to be Crystallis with his extra Wukong's command ring. Again, we've seen if his ultimate's laid down, that is a no-go zone for Alliance, and now it's going to be even more difficult potentially with that control. So it takes a little bit of time. Also, all the 2 other cores on Secret are very close as well. So Mel's almost got his. He's also just completed Octarine with the Spell Prism, so his cooldown is through the roof. And add on top of that, more than likely the Remnant Charge restore time getting reduced. He's going to be very slippery.
Well, they're saying, like, where the hell are these guys? You know, Lions have not revealed on the map for quite some time, and Puppy seems to have sniffed them out, although the Remnant doesn't reveal them just yet to avoid that. So the lane's pushing in off the back of the Wrath of Nature. Pushing power as well. Question is Secret going to be able to force them back on Alliance? You know, you've got multiple lanes pushing in. That's why Chuen goes for that big zip down the mid lane to at least make that not one that you have to worry about. Bot lane can't be ignored. You've actually forced them all the way back into the base. Decent vision for Alliance though, all around that Roche pit. You have to wonder if now's the time to look to buy a gem for them. Be able to be ready.
Again, this mid board by the remnants of the T1 as well could be really vital. They're trying to get over to their vision to protect it. Be cautious how long you stick around here on Seek, and if you group up as well, because Chuen always going to be ready.
Sure, they're constantly looking at items as well, even just on the supports. They're saying, hey,
see Homage again. All right, no messing around. A Doom out onto the toss. S4's already looking for Puppy as well, but as long as he's been, they're going to be able to address the Elder Titan. They're going to be cautious about Crystallis. The ring's going to get laid down, but they don't have the control to lock them inside. So Alliance, big victory for them. Can they get more? Trying to get the vision for the glimpse back. Boom.
you already tried it. It hit onto the Lincoln, so wasn't able to land. 25 load attack pounds, excuse me. A couple of those kills, Roche Pit's opened up, and the main scouter for that is going to be the Elder Titan. So this lane pushed in a little bit.
Lane. Even Boom's going to TP in as well. Purge off the Crimson Guard to the rescue. Chuen to the rescue. Starting Storm, bye-bye. Springs the trap. He doesn't even die. S4. Oh, 14 deaths overall throughout the game, but this time he's not going to make it a 15.
He's a tanky boy. I mean, he's got that BKB, he's got the Crimson Guard. Holding onto that ninja gear for a little bit of initial movements. And got him onto. It's actually Yamage forced to pop the BKB.
Hang on. Up in a couple of seconds. Might die beforehand. And then again.
We're tier 2. Roche is still up. And life Arcane Rune, bottom side. S4 would love the Aghanim Scepter as well. From the Roche pit, so you don't have to worry about that Lincolns anymore from Armel. They have any 4-stars as well, actually, on Secret, so that could really be a big game changer. It's a 17k net worth lead, banging on the high ground, and Alliance still hanging in.
He's gonna get scouted out. Under the cover, the trips to cloak. I didn't know he was there. Chuen's still gonna try and tip on over S4 as well. Like the captain's gonna go down. It does move them out of the pit.
They know
Roche is
what's
still
going
pretty
on.
low though. Can Armel slow this down enough? The secret claws are up surely. They gotta commit on Alliance and... Oh no, they're not going to. They're too low in the resource department.
They were scared of Puppy. He bought back, but he didn't have a TP, so that Astral Spirit isn't actually going to be able to scout out. Poor Roche. Hemmed in there with the ice shot. Alliance are pretty happy with this as well, though. You get Pondo back for this next fight once everyone joins, unless they're incredibly quick.
Don't you just commit?
Yeah.
It's Voldo, he's in. You got a glimpse of the Nature's Prof, and he's going to jump in straight away once again. Boom's in some trouble. Walking inside the circle to buy some time. Chris Roberts as well in the middle of it all. He's looking for an opportunity to play around with the ultimate, but doesn't see the window for it. Regardless, it's a 1-for-1.
Bash.
Almost up pretty shortly as well. How do you contest it inside the ring, though? Just for the 2-layer down. Look for the protection from Secret. No go for Chuen. They snatch the ages on Crystallis and they get the kill to the Storm Spirit as well. Good buyback for Chuen, but Charlie looks for the cleanup. Gets the one, turns with the Abyssal Blade onto the Ember Spirit as well. They're going to be lacking the damage in a Puppy. Oh, that's a great Echo Storm onto 2. Charlie doesn't have the ultimate to work with. Crimson might be able to protect him for a little bit of time, but Armel, he knows no way to stop. Remnant left, right, and center. He's got another one to work with. Why not even blink on forward? Chains is down for the moment, but once it's back up, Secret can look to close the distance. The cautious though, Chuen. His buybacks come on cooldown. Do they group up though? The Vortex onto 2 and enables him to get the kill onto the Monkey King. Now Charlie can turn as well. Alliance once again. Off the back of the buybacks from Chuen, time and time, the Storm Spirit has proven to be an issue for Secret inside these team fights.
For Secret, they're holding on to their buybacks. Still got it on those 2 cores. Nature's Prop. Bizarre TP in by Boom, just right into the center of things when you had potential to provide vision inside of that pit. The sensual combo catching him even when he went into that Silver Edge, but seem like they're going to be able to convert this into any heavy buyback expenditure from Alliance. As long as they don't do anything silly on Secret, they're still going to have a big window where they can look to close out this game. Just about establishing vision first.
Hang on, Puppy. Want to go for this? Chuen. There is that Steve. Hang on. The vision for the glimpse at least. They do have some buybacks to play with, but they're not going to use it for Poppy.
Poppy's not
That's a
one of them.
dieback for him. No way. No way. They're not going to get the first set of barracks, right?
Could happen. To buy back on this, you might just have to give up one lane. Now it's good of a game.
Wow. I mean, you called for it, man. You said that Chuen, the weight on the world on his shoulder, and he is performing, but needs to continue, and there's a lot of pressure on him. This buyback looming, potential being to be down for quite some time is a big concern. He has really been an X factor so far for Alliance. One death and could spell disaster for their own base.
Holding onto the spell prison as well on this Storm Spirit. The cooldown reduction feels kind of nice. You know, you're constantly wanting to be spamming out that electric project. Of course, he's got the action shot as well.
Taking a little bit too long to try and get rid of the ward, and as a result, Boom and Yarmich in combination together are going to be able to bring him down, but Ponlo is waiting with the invis. Let's see a window though to try and jump out and use that static storm. Did he lose the gem?
Hold on.
Sorry, go.
What did they take from that Roshan with Chuen's jump? I think he
So-
might have got the Aghanim's Blessing and given it to S4.
Oh, he did, yeah. I saw Charlie pick it up, but I didn't know if he ate it. But yeah, they gave it to S4, okay.
And then pretty big with Doom applying Break as well, so you get on top of Crystallis before he's able to get the Jingu Mastery proc, and then can't actually man-fight you quite as easily. Again, they're lacking 4-staffs right now on Team Secret. All they've really got is that Boots of Bearing to provide that little bit of extra movement speed. Stage where it's still a Boots of Travel Doom. Got the level 15 talent for movement speed. He's going to have some turf popped. Brought out Refresher as well. Was in this game too. Like,
Yeah. 15 deaths.
horrible laning stage, yeah.
Despite
He got given the blessing. I was about,
deaths.
how is he ahead of Chuen in net worth? But he got given the blessing, so like, that kind of makes sense.
Without looking, where would you think this win probability is at this stage in the game?
Oh, Alliance favored 4-36.
Oh, I hate you so much.
It's actually that?
so-
Holy crap.
It's 65, which that is close
That's
enough.
pretty close.
Oh, that's close enough. 65?
For a
What?
tier 1 tower,
Really?
like, down to lane racks. If that wasn't the case, I would be like 50-50 or maybe a very slight edge to Secret, but I always said if they got to the late stage, this is Alliances for the take.
All right. Do you feel like this game is really theirs to lose now, even with Secret having firm control for first 30 minutes, maybe 35? You feel like now it's actually Alliance, this is their game to lose?
Well, hold on. I think they got to try and stall it out for another 3 minutes. They got to wait for those buybacks. Don't do anything stupid before it gets to that stage, because that's the way that Secret are going to be able to close out that gap. They're trying to do it for the past 25 minutes, but Alliance have been manipulating lanes. They've been splitting up. They've been farming. They've been throwing some great high ground defenses off the back of Chuen, Henskin, and Ponlo.
And well, for Chuen, he's going to be going to the Revenant's Brooch. So you've got that upgrade now for the Witchblade. I was really what he might consider Aeon. He trusts his own play, and I don't blame him. 12, 3, and 13. So again, all eyes on him. Very, very impressive with his showing so far. They're going to be able to buy another gem. They did lose it prior with Hunting going down, trying to get that D-ward by the secret shop. So at least they got a gem now to try and play with the vision, because it all comes down to initiation. Who has that vision advantage? Who gets the jump?
Right now, Alliance don't have any vision on the map. Pretty precarious position with their mid lane all the way pushed out. Top and bottom, they're in a decent spot, and bottom's going to continue to be so. But to be fair, Secret don't exactly have the greatest amount either. It's really just the treants providing any kind of information at the top side of the map. playing around the one safe space for them, but I think if this continues, Alliance are happy. Again, they're just waiting for buybacks. 2 more minutes, and that just so happens to coincide with when Roche is potentially respawned. Amel buy something, but what?
Is there a consideration for a hex?
BKB for BKB.
But they don't know it on Alliance that the Ember Pop.
Was it not under the Aber?
Oh, okay, maybe then. Yeah, I only saw it when you brought it up, so I didn't see the star. I'm not sure.
Hex is possible, sure.
Okay.
I mean, it would be pretty amazing onto Charlie, right? You're able to burst him down. It's not like you're lacking in damage, but get that Hex in onto him before he's able to pop the BKB. Then you get the break from the Nature's Prophet. There's going to be no way for him to use that borrowed time. And if Abaddon's not there, a huge portion of your damage gone on a line.
So, the issue I have with this next fight, that more than likely next team fight is going to break out around the pit, is that Chrysalis now has double Wukongs to work with the Refresher now. And unless Alliance start the fight with their ultimates, there is no way they can enter this area. So we could just...
He gets caught
You got to get rid of him. That's the thing. I mean, if you catch him, then...
Backs are back up in 40 seconds. 3-1. One short of it. No, actually, they're still going to need a little bit more money for Yamich and Ren as well. That Revenant's approach buyout a little bit short. Ought to have it around the Roche pit, especially when you've got this outpost patrol. So,
Kimmy is back up here again. Oh no. He's got on Hanskin. Look at the Doom out S4. We're going to try and control the toughness now, but Monkey King. Oh no. Crystallis goes down before he can activate anything, and Yamich is gone as well. Alliance. Roche is out for the taking. Unfortunately, it's a long Roche spawn though for them. Won't be able to get the prize. So what's the call now? You got to pivot a window.
Oh, what do you do? I mean, I think the MO for Alliance is pretty clear. Charlie just draws a big line down that mid lane. He wants to test if there's any sort of buybacks available. And well, Tusk, he's short on money. 400 gold lacking. Able to get this outnumbered. Chuen as well has the boots of travel, so able to join in with the rest of the boys if he wants to. Really look to take away some of his base vision that they've got. Even the strongest Alliance fans could have predicted a comeback from here. It's going to be the case though. Strong late game lineup, great scaling, good synergy. They've just been able to find the right target over and over. Second almost lane of Rex. Backdoor protection, stopping them for now. Just want to take out the top tier 2. Go to rush.
We will have the full fireman though for Secret to be able to contest this. But the momentum is
all the way back to base. I guess just wanting the mana, but careful to immediately make a move back out. He's actually going to buy the Aghanim's Blessing, it seems.
okay.
Last time I saw that happen successfully was, I think, Tundra at Gamers Galaxy.
And you couldn't ask for a better rune probably for the Storm Spirit in this position as well. Just by the Roche Fire, he gets an Arcane.
And Secret know it's up, and they know it's not being taken right now, so just putting Boom onto the bottom side, push that one out, off the Wrath of Nature.
Nesso's ready though. Jump in, Chuen of course with the Arcane has plenty of mana to work with. They're going to try and suck him in the Snowball. They will be able to protect him from over the Static Storm Force will provide them a whole lot. This could be an opening here for Secret with the ultimates getting extended early on. There's S4 though. They don't get the Dome onto Chrysalis. They will retreat successfully with only losing Ponlo, but Boom. An aggressive TP into the middle. The Sprout Wish is there onto the Storm. Chuen's in some trouble. And with the chain control coming afterwards, they'll find the Storm Spirit as well. The X Factor for Alliance will not be there now for this fight.
Have buyback though. Use a Doom BKB on do, but no pressure as well. So they have that Doom available. This might not be used for anything though.
You might lose S1 change. Charlie ripples up. Charlie wants the man type for the Vortex, sends him down. It's not gonna matter. They'll still get the kill. Oh, that could have been disastrous if the Ember was able to get away with Charlie still locked up on the higher ground, but Mighty Ember. As a result, there were multiple buybacks expended though for Alliance, and they're gonna look to go straight away. They might go for Boom inside the base. They scan, they know no one's playing next to Boom.
Boom, oh, they might get a full wraparound though. They're gonna find potentially an outnumber. Puppy's been so on point with the scouting.
There we go, 2N again.
No vision. Puppy's still holding on to that Trickster's cloak. Yeah.
2N doesn't have much mana.
Clarity. 60 minutes though.
Oh, 2N.
Agreed.
Got BKB. Okay. But that's...
damage on Charlie. 2-minute item, man. You got it. First game of the day.
There's no way. There's no... Wait, Daniel, this 3 day... This... Right? Oh, no, that was China, sorry. I was going to say China day 1 and day 2. Both our game 1 went 60 minutes. Now Western Europe for our first games going 60 minutes. Who the hell would have thought? Who would have thought we'd be here 60 minutes in with Alliance having 2 full sets of barracks advantage, and then the ones kind of in a better position?
According to Reddit, Western Europe is the greatest region of all time, so I'm sure everyone there was expecting.
I guess
Careful about going too far forward on S4 though. Or back previously, my guy.
That's the big thing, right? Like Alliance had to use 4 buybacks, whereas Radiant, they only use Puppies and Armels. At this stage of the game, that's really the important thing. Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
Does have buyback available. We've got that outpost. Either team wanting to go into that Roach pit, realizing how big of a threat both sides' AoE spells are, right? The Vortex AoE, the Static Storm, the AoE Doom, the Macro Fire. Having to worry about Puppy hit an amazing Earth Splitter fight as well.
Get some neutrals, get some T5s, please. Make me not know what's going on. We got an Apex.
Giant's Ring. Oh, that's a...
Got the Apex. Thought he handed it off to someone.
Got enough for the Moonshot now if he just wants to buy it out. Have. Well. He loves buying Shadow out Mute first. Right? Like he's like, as a Glimmer Cape buyer, it's all about, you know, you don't get the value from the cloak. It's just about the lack of it that you're giving it, just being under it. 0 cooldown being used. The Grief and Pub.
They are split from Charlie. This could be a bit of an opportunity here for Secret. Charlie needs to connect to the team. 2N. He's actually looking to go in. Want to take Puppy out of the equation. He's going to be protected with the Hunters for the moment, but S4 look at him in the back line. He's caught up the Monkey King. He needs Charlie for the damage, and that's where the Abaddon's going to be able to come into play with the instant buyback. Charlie's will look to rejoin the team fight. They won't have S4 though in Alliance. How can they play this Shred off the left side? The Vortex into the Static Storm. Boom score, but again, Secret. They've got the buyback advantage right now. Alliance, they need to get up and cut their losses, but can they do so? Charlie trying to stand strong, but as soon as the Wukong's command is lay it down. He able to get the blink away. Attempts to TP up the chains, holds him down. Meanwhile, Armel is caught out the Storm's threat as well. A dieback for 2N. Charlie, he'll make him work for it. Echo Storm will connect. Crystalis gives him the vision in the tree line. As Alliance, they lose all 5, and now Secret. A big opportunity for them to close out this game.
What could Charlie do? He's the lone rider right now. No one with buyback remaining in this game. One advantage is that assuming Crystalis is going to be the one to pick it up, is going to be able to secure that Aegis. Probably shot number 4. Running down those lanes. You can see Armel on way doing duty. In the position with a straight afterwards, but Illusion's just trying to stop the push.
Does Charlie have to base race this? You do have double glyph on Dire, but
Have
he
it on
can't
Radiant as
sacrifice.
well, right? Oh, no, they don't have it. Maybe you wait one out.
Straight away.
Giant swing, he should get out of this round. Oh, they got this useless item might do something.
They're gonna go for the GG. Charlie, what can you do? 1 against 5. Wait against. Looks like he'll be alright. T4's down though, S4's up in 10. Another glyph's gonna be activated. All the weight on Charlie's shoulders.
Won't have a second response though. This one expires.
But it's not gonna matter. The damage has been dealt. Secret. What a wild back and forth game 1, but in the end, man, Alliance made him work for it, but it did not matter. 64 minutes in, Secret will find a victory. Look at Puppy's face.
It's like,
Oh,
oof,
God.
got away.